I'm starting with the question, what year were you born?
I was born in 1974, the year of the tiger.
That was going to be my follow-up question.
Yeah, okay, I just read your mind. But I'm not really a tiger because we can dig into it. There's two different kind of calendar. One's called lunar calendar and one is Western calendar. And we always go, when we talk about the Chinese, the horoscope or zodiac, we always go by the lunar calendar, which I fall under an ox.
So you're technically an ox.
I'm technically an oxtail.
Okay. So were you born in Taiwan?
Yes, I was born in Taiwan. I was born in Kaohsiung, Taiwan.
Do you know what the hospital name was?
No, I can't remember.
Were you born at a hospital?
I was born in the hospital.
But you don't know which one.
I don't know. Nobody ever bothered to tell me what's the name of a hospital.
How did your family come to be in Taiwan, or were they always in Taiwan?
Okay, that's very interesting because my father was born in China, mainland China, Qingdao to be exact. So after the 1949 migration, he and his family, my grandpa, moved the whole family to Taiwan. But my mother's side, their ancestor came to Taiwan several decades before that. So they settled in Taiwan before. So my mother was born in Taiwan, but my father was born in China.
And so you've had family that came relatively recently and family that's been there longer.
Yes, that's correct.
Did you ever notice a difference between them?
You mean my father's side, my mother's side?
Yeah. And
Oh,
how
yeah.
they felt about Taiwan.
A huge difference. Well, because Taiwan predominantly prior to that migration, everybody speak Taiwanese, and also some highly educated people actually they speak Japanese as well because Taiwan used to be the colony of Japan. So it was a norm for people to speak Taiwanese and Japanese up until the migration. So the government kind of forced some people to start speaking Mandarin. Yeah, so that's that. So they're very different. People from China, they seems to carry this more superior attitude because those people actually, when they left China, that's because most of them are rich. They're rich families, so they have to run away from the communism. So that's why they went to Taiwan. But once they get to Taiwan, they really don't have much left except that superior mentality. But the one in Taiwan, most of them, they have several generations. I mean, not my mother's side. They were just okay family. Then nobody rich or anything. But the Taiwanese seems to be a little bit different. The mentality are a little bit different. Yeah.
And so that kind of leads into the next question, which is, what values did you feel like your parents really instilled in you? Maybe they were different from mom to dad. Maybe they were the same values.
Well, still, both sides, we are still Chinese, no matter where you're from. So they always want you to do well in school and always to, achieve better level in your life, always to push yourself for better. Yeah, and just do the right thing. Don't bother anyone.
Those are the main values.
Yeah, main value. Don't bother anyone, and just They are not. I think growing up, I don't think they didn't really teach me too much specific value. I think they are kind of busy running their own life. They don't really pay too much attention on my upbringing. They're probably just pretty much occupied with their own stuff. So I really honestly wouldn't say that they try to teach me any value. They really put too much focus on my education, not really a whole lot.
So you felt academic success was important?
Yeah, it sounds like it's important, but how to get to the goal, it's on my own. They just tell me that's important. How you get there, we don't know.
You figure it out.
You figure it out.
What's the earliest memory you have of your childhood?
Earliest memory, ha ha ha, that is so cute. Because I think I probably mentioned to you. I think I was like 5 years old. Yeah, something probably even earlier than that, but I can't really remember so well. We go to like a daycare, and the daycare but that I'm not gonna talk about that because that's not really clear. I think when I have more clear picture of my childhood is when I was roughly around 4 or 5 years old. And back then, I mean, it's legal. I mean, it's really no choice. We don't really have somebody to look after us. My brother was 2.5 older than me. We just left at home, and we decided to go with neighbors' kids. We walk about 2 kilometers to see a dead pig. We find out fascinating how the pig ended up in some world of water. And yeah, we play in the field. I remember this guava, the fruit guava. You probably never seen it here. The farm in front of a place where we live, and we just roam around there, catch some frog, and yeah, that's what we do.
And no adults to look after you.
Without supervision. You're pretty much on your own.
How old was probably the oldest neighborhood kid that looked after you?
10?
10.
Yeah, 10. We're a group of, I remember it's a group of 5 of us. And maybe that wasn't the other girl. I can't remember. But I think 3 kids from that family, 2 kids from ours. And we just went on our adventure of 2-kilometer walk to see the dead pig. And I don't know who told them about the dead pig, but seems to be such an amusement for the neighborhood kids. Everybody go and see the dead pig.
So you weren't the only ones looking for this pig?
No, I'm not. It's just several kids from the neighborhood. They were like one after the other tell them, "You want to go and see a dead pig? Okay."
You remember being excited about that?
Yeah, we're very excited about seeing the dead pig.
Okay. So what kinds of conversations do you remember having during dinner, on the dinner table, around mealtime?
Eat.
That's all you did?
Yeah, we don't really talk much. I don't remember. Not really. No, they probably asked me how's school, and that's pretty much about it. Yeah.
That was in the family home, immediate family home. If you ever visited relatives, did they ever ask you beyond school? Or is it always school?
Yeah, not really. They don't really ask me anything.
Did the adults talk?
Yeah, they do. They drink. All they worry about just drink. Cheers, cheers, cheers. And they probably talk about some current political issue. The TV will be playing. They just sit around watching TV and yeah, that's all.
As a kid, do you remember any of the big political issues, or that's too?
Well, back then, there was the president who was really good, Jin Guozhang. He was developing Taiwan, so it's quite a bit of development in Taiwan as a kid. I remember that's as I growing up. So, they just talk about it on the TV. They say, oh, this new development being built, because that time he planned 10 main infrastructure in Taiwan. So that's when Taiwan took off. That's which is really important.
And do you remember it being an exciting time? Did you feel excited about
Oh
Taiwan
yeah,
in the future?
yeah. That time we were really excited because back then we can't even afford to have a car. So when we finally have our first family car, and we can actually get on the highway, and that back then you hardly have many cars, not to mention on the highway. So you're very happy, like, oh, I don't need to cramp in the train. I just get on my own car and just ride on the highway. Very exciting. Yeah, highway was the first thing I remember.
First thing you remember.
Yeah, it's you can drive fairly fast.
Yeah.
It's really called highway. Yeah, that's different from now.
What languages were you speaking at home as a kid?
Mandarin.
Only Mandarin.
Only Mandarin.
But grandma, your mom,
Yeah.
spoke Taiyu.
She speak Taiwanese, but she can speak Mandarin as well. And because your grandpa, my father, their side is more dominating. So, and plus we live in the military dorm. So in the military dorm, pretty much everybody just speak Mandarin. And also, it's just kind of like you think you're more proper if you speak Mandarin.
Really?
Yeah, it is. And if you have like a Taiwanese accent, people make fun of you.
Even though you're in Taiwan?
Oh yeah. It's a big. It's yeah. We become the biggest racist to our own race. Yeah, that they can tell. They can tell you have an accent. If you have an accent, even you speak Taiwanese and you have an accent from the south, they can tell that, oh, you're from the south. So
it's funny to think because Taiwan is still such a
oh yeah,
small
Taiwan is
country.
very small, but they just very judgmental and look down on you. So the best thing is you just speak Mandarin. So Mandarin that you kind of can fake it.
Nobody you're some posh or
yeah, you sound more posh, and because you're in the military dorm, so usually you speak Mandarin pretty accurately. Even though you probably can blend into local fairly well, because people down south more of them speak Taiwanese, versus people up north, which is Taipei, the capital. People speak mostly Mandarin. So, of course, when you're little, and then also in school, they tell you do not speak Mandarin. Taiwanese. When we were in school, in the elementary school, I remember they keep telling you that do not speak Taiwanese. They encourage Mandarin.
Were they strict? Were they just encouraging Mandarin?
Oh,
or did they punish you for speaking Taiwanese?
They probably will... I won't say they punish you, but they will correct you if you speak Taiwanese. Yeah. I remember one of my classmates, her Mandarin sound terrible. So she got into trouble. But, that's her mother tongue is Taiwanese. So I remember, because that was in a military dorm, which is very close to, it's kind of like a mixture. So... it's interesting. Kaohsiung is kind of interesting. Like the elementary school, you have a huge population of people from the dorm. So they speak Mandarin. And if you speak Taiwanese, you feel like left out. But when I moved to the other elementary school, and there are not so many people from the dorm, the military dorm, so then I feel left out because most of the people the kids still speak Taiwanese, so that's the culture. Always fighting, bumping head.
So there was this really clear division.
Oh yeah.
And you felt like you were insider and then outsider.
Yeah, because when I was I remember in my first elementary school, is predominantly by the kids live in the military dorm, so. Everybody speak Mandarin, we're fine, we communicate, no problem. But once I moved to the other one, they're like 50%, but probably a little bit more people speak Taiwanese. I feel left out. I get targeted. Yeah, I really get targeted. And Yeah. And then when I attend the junior high school, which you hear probably like middle school, I get targeted really bad. Like I try to blend in, but they just make huge fun of me. They say, please stop speaking Taiwanese.
Your Taiwanese was no good.
No good.
Not good enough for them.
No, they can just I mean, I can understand it, but I can't really speak it. I mean, I can speak a little, but you can spot me right away. Yeah, you can tell that that's not my mother tongue. Yeah.
And did your mom, who spoke Taiwanese, ever feel disappointed that you were...
No, she, like I said, she never really, like, tried to pass any sort of, like, education. She never tried to teach me Taiwanese. I just learned everything from the TV. And, for her, it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about living in a military dorm and why?
That's actually fun. That's actually this. I remember when I was 6 years old, then we moved to. It's not really a military dorm. I mean, you pretty much like everybody's the father in the military or sometime they're in the military. But because the background are similar, so we're like several military dorm like connected together, like a huge community.
Just to be clear, your dad was in the military.
Yeah, he was the military all his life, and then we just still again no supervision. We just ride the bike. Every day you finish the school, you finish your homework, and you just ride the bike roaming around the whole street. You take the chalk on the roll and you play the, what you call that thing? The jump?
Hopscotch.
Hopscotch. You just play hopscotch. You go hang around with your friend. You go to your friend, have a snack. One day, one family find out 2 kids, one missing 1 kid. Don't worry, they're just always hopping in different families. Yeah.
It was a big community then.
It's a big community, and sometimes your classmate might not in the same school, but not from the same community. But that's okay. This all interconnected. It's like like division, subdivision, all connected. So everybody go to that elementary school, and we all know each other. And some they probably go to posher their dorm because the dad higher ranking. So I remember one of my classmates, she lived in this huge house, like more like a Japanese style. Like we actually go to her house, play hide and seek. That's how big it is. Like seriously, hide and seek. You cannot find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because her dad was in a high ranking, in the
position.
Yeah.
What was your favorite food growing up, and who usually prepared it for you?
My favorite food, I think, is fried chicken.
Fried chicken?
Fried chicken, yes. Fried chicken. Because it's really rare. You cannot have a fried chicken every day like you do now if you want to. Like, fried chicken, especially we like the fried chicken leg. And that's like a special delicacy. Like, I mean, every chicken only got 2 legs, right?
Yeah.
So you can only have that. I mean, pretty much what I remember we have on the Chinese New Year's Eve or Chinese New Year Day. Yeah. So grandma would count how many kids, and she will fry out the fried chicken leg. Yeah.
So each of you only got 1.
1 leg. You can't even have 2 legs. 1.
Well, what if there was an odd number of kids who got the extra leg?
No, the extra leg will go to the adult. Grandma will count how many kids, how many grandkids. Everybody counts. Yeah, and that's it. That's all enough legs she buy for everyone.
And did the adults get legs too?
Yeah, the adults get legs too. Yeah, everybody get a chicken leg. Yeah, that's what I remember. That's you can't have that all the time, so that is special.
And grandma made it for you.
And grandma made it
And grandma on which side?
From my dad's side. She is phenomenal. I still have a hard time to understand how could she bake me a cookie when she never owned an oven.
She made you cookies?
Yeah, she made me cookies.
Using what?
I don't know. I never thought about that. That's my favorite cookie. I know she made those cookie for me.
But she never had an
She
oven.
never taught me how to make those cookie. And I never connecting the dots. Then one day I asked my dad, it's like, Grandma never have an oven. How did you bake the cookie? I don't know.
He didn't know either.
He didn't know either.
Do you know how she made the chicken legs?
Yeah, that's easy. Just put in the batter in a big wok and fry it.
You watched her doing
I
it?
watched her doing it.
Did you learn how to do it? Did she ever teach you?
No, she never teach me. It just would be, because when she frying the chicken leg, will be aunt, and it's too many women in the kitchen, so there's no room for me.
There's no room for kids in the kitchen.
No, kids stay out.
We touched on this a little bit, but what did your family do for a living? What was the profession?
My dad is the career military.
Which military?
Marine. He was in the Marine all his life. And he retired as a colonel in the Marine. And my mom just pretty much stay-at-home mom, babysit a little bit. That's about it.
And what do you remember about your dad being in the Marines? What was his job like? Did that experience ever come through to you? Did he ever tell you stories about it, or was it mostly?
I mean, it's really cool. I mean, even though, despite the tension between Taiwan and China, it's not really any military activities. Once in a while, China might try to drop a bomb, but it's really pretty peaceful in Taiwan, so it's not really a risky job for him to have. I just remember because that's pretty good ranking in the military, so he has personal assistants. He has his own chauffeur, and I remember that because he had to live on the base pretty much most of the time, so we don't get to see him often. So when he comes home, then his chauffeur and his assistant, I think mostly his chauffeur, will come with him. So then we he will send his chauffeur to drive me to school. So I actually ride in a Jeep to school, which is pretty cool.
Did the kids enjoy seeing that? Were they jealous of you?
I don't think anybody understand that back then. And yeah, it's funny. What I think actually it's not that uncommon because there's still a lot of military dorm. Like not when I go to the junior high, no. But when I was in elementary school, I remember still some of the kids also have their dads send the chauffeur to drop them off. And then some from Navy, never Air Force, because we are Navy and Marine. And is it Army? No, not so much Army. Navy and Marine, yeah. So you can see and just drop off the kids. Several, yeah.
How often was your dad coming home?
Maybe once a month. Yeah, something like that, about once a month.
And was it a occasion to celebrate when he came home? Was he tired when he came home?
It's okay. He's home. And he would throw a party, have his friends over. So, yeah, just have some dinner party, and that's about it. That's what I remember.
Otherwise, it was Mom.
Yeah, just Mom.
What was your relationship with Mom like?
It's Mom. I really don't have much memory.
No?
Not much.
And what about Dad?
I think I'm more of a daddy's girl because Mom just pretty much, okay, whatever you need to go to school. But my dad actually encouraged me to do well. So I want to have a Barbie doll when I was in elementary school. I really want to have a Barbie doll. But Mom never want to get me a Barbie doll. So dad was like, okay, you do this, you get the Barbie doll. So yeah.
And did you get that doll?
I get a doll.
He made good on his promise.
Yeah, he's good. My dad kind of spoiled me. I mean, he knows I'm academically, he never need to worry about me. And I just want to have a Barbie doll. So he got me a Barbie doll.
Why shouldn't you have a Barbie doll?
Well, exactly, right?
Did you have any siblings?
Yeah, I had the brother.
And what role did they play in your life when you were growing up?
Oh, he's pain in the ass.
Yeah, he was older.
He was older. He was 2.5 older than me. Almost called it a 3. Yeah. I mean, it's like I made him look really bad. He's smart, but he doesn't do well in school because he doesn't want to. And as a boy in a family, he gets a lot of attention. So he's very spoiled. Me, kind of just like, okay, it's another kid. Yeah, it's kind of like so. Boys always get more attention, especially the first boy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but academically, I do really well. So I get a lot of attention from parents. So he kind of disliked me that way. He think that because of me, make him look bad.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't really get along till we grow a bit older in our teenage. Yeah.
Teenage years, you were a little bit closer?
Still not closer, but no, we still fight a lot. I don't even remember we ever been close, unfortunately. I mean, childhood probably, other when we go and see the dead pig.
That's the one memory you have.
Yeah, the memory we have. Pretty much, I just remember his hobby is to beat me up every day, to punch me. Yeah, because he just doesn't like me.
So, he didn't like that you were outperforming him.
Outperforming him, he doesn't like me for whatever reason. He make a lot of reason, and just he never liked the fact that he has this sister. Yeah.
What kind of education did you have in Taiwan, and where did you get that education?
I finished a junior college, which is equivalent to like 3 years of a high school and 2 years of university, like college, in civil engineering. Yeah.
And how much did you enjoy that?
I hate it. I hate it. I did not like math. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I kind of know what I have to take that. That's back then, it's like nobody really cared if that's what you want to study or not. It just, okay, that's a good school. You're just gonna throw your kids in that school. Yes, that was a very good engineering school back then. It probably the best private junior college in Taiwan. I mean, in southern Kaohsiung. I mean, southern Taiwan. So to be able to get in it sounds pretty cool. If you tell people that school name, they make you parents proud, but I hate it. I did not like it a bit. Yeah.
And who told you to go?
My parents.
They cared more that it was a good school than that.
No, they just tell me I have to stay in Kaohsiung.
They didn't want you to go.
They did not want me to go anywhere. They do not like me to leave Kaohsiung. So that probably the only choice.
Do you know why they didn't want you to leave?
Because unfortunately my brother passed away right before my exam, my entrance exam, because you have to take the exam to enter the junior college. Mm-hmm. So after his funeral, it's just hard for everyone, and they didn't want me to leave the house. So I just have to find something to do in Kaohsiung. I mean, I want to have a junior college, and that's really the only option. I don't want to be a nurse. There's a nursing school as well. I didn't want to be a nurse, so that was it.
Was it really the only two options, nursing, engineering?
Yep, pretty much. Because my grade wasn't good enough for the top notch is a language school. So the language the junior college, it's like the best in Taiwan, actually. Yeah, it's the only junior college. Well, now everybody become a university now, the college university. Yeah, they specialize in language. I would have been much happier there if I went, because I'm good at language. But my parents, they never really dig into it, so.
They never encouraged you to pursue language? Or
They don't even know. They don't even know what I'm good at.
just broadly they wanted you to be good at school?
That's it. Yeah, they don't care that my math sucks. Why would you want to put me in the engineering school when my math sucks? Yeah, so that's...
They weren't thinking that far.
No, they don't. They just want you to stay in Kaohsiung. That's it. Or the other option is I can go to a high school and then go to the university, which they didn't even give me any proper guidance. I just like, no, doesn't sound like something I want to do. Maybe it could have been better. Who knows? But in life, what do you know?
And so the education system was you either complete... Can you talk about how you are educated in Taiwan at your age from beginning to end? What that looks like?
It's kind of similar to the here in Canada. You enter the first grade at the age of 6, and you carry on till your high school. You finish first 12 years. No. Yeah, 12 years of... not 12 years. First 9 years. So by the time 15, you have to take the entrance exam. That's back then. Now I think everything changed. Entrance exam. You go to high school, vocational school, or you have junior college. It's kind of like a mixed. So you have 3 options. But for me, I didn't want to go to vocational. Is that what you said?
Vocational school.
Yeah, vocational school. I didn't want to go to vocational school because kind of looked down on them.
Why would they be looked down on?
Usually people, if you're doing really well academically, either you go to the high school or you go to the junior college.
Okay.
Vocational school is kind of like, not really, not something to be...
What kind of work does it prepare you for?
Well, kind of like a job. But once you take vocational school, then after you graduate, a lot of people then they take another exam to jump back into junior college.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like, if you're really academically strong, you want to go for high school. If you kind of like in between, you go to the junior college. Because junior college pretty much just kind of like a shortcut. You could graduate from the junior college and start working. Yeah, but if you just graduate from high school, it will be challenging. And I mean, vocational school, maybe, I don't know. I don't really know many people from vocational school, so I can't speak for them. But they are the kind, I think the easiest one to get in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that didn't have as much prestige.
No, not much. Yeah.
So what was a normal day like for you at the age of 10 first? And then I'll ask 15 later, but let's start with 10.
10. Just in school, that's all. When I was 10, that's the time I just switched to another elementary school. And I remember I got bullied a lot.
Because you were Mandarin speaking?
Yeah, I'm Mandarin speaking, and they speak the Taiwanese. I got bullied a lot, and also because I actually academically pretty strong, so they didn't like it. They just want to bully me. They just want to attack me. First of all, because my language, and also because my academic. And of course, it's different when you come out to it's a bigger school. So I did not like when I was 10 years old. No, did not like it.
Do you remember why you transferred?
Oh, we moved.
You moved?
Yeah.
And what was I hope this doesn't bring up any bad memories, but what was the bullying like? Was it physical, verbal, or were they just...
everything. Everything. They pull my hair. They make fun of me. They just... Because that's the time I actually start I was forced to have to learn to speak Taiwanese.
So first they told you can only speak Mandarin, and now at this school.
Yeah, I mean, you're still supposed to speak Mandarin, but kids, they just speak Taiwanese, but they just attack you. And because you're different. They've been hanging out together growing up. And also, like, we still moved to a different dorm. Those kids, they don't live in a dorm. They are like the Taiwanese speaking kids. So the mentality also different. They're still very different. Yeah. So they just bully this outsider. Yeah, so that was that. But then when I was 11 and 12, and I start getting familiar with my surrounding, so then, life gets better.
It got easier.
It got a little bit easier, yeah, because academically I was very strong. So it's still in the Taiwanese, in Chinese society, as a kid, if you do well in academically, yeah, pretty much they can't really touch you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
insulates you.
Yeah, in a way, because you're gonna become a teacher's little pet. So you can, they kind of...
Was that a dynamic if you were super strong academically?
Yeah, pretty much. And then kids, because everybody want to do well academically, so they probably will approach you for help instead of trying to attack you. Yeah, you become a big shot. Academically, you're doing well, and, and unless you're really dumb in everything else, which I'm okay, so... I get better, and instead of socially not so awkward.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good. That's what's better. Yeah.
Can you describe a full day beginning to start at 15 years old?
15. Oh, that was brutal because I will be waking up at 6 o'clock every day, and I have to be on the bus by 6:30-ish, 6:40, I still remember. And so I take the bus and go to the school. And so I have to be in the class by 7:10?
7:10.
Yeah. 7 or 7:10 at the latest, I remember. Yeah. And you just sit there. You start study. Prepare. There'll be quizzes. And maybe you have a midterm, maybe you have whatever. Test after test, quiz after quiz, and it's just endless. And you just sit in the class, I think 7:10. Latest 7:30, I think.
When did teaching start? When did your teacher come in to begin?
8.
But you had to be there at 7:10.
Yeah, you had to be there at 7:10.
Who was going to punish you if you weren't?
There's some student, what would you call it? Like that, there's some snitches. This teacher place in a class will tell her that so and so did not make it to class by 7:10. Yeah.
They would tattle on you at 15 years old.
Oh yeah, they started when they're 13. Yeah, everybody's like that. So you better not be late.
And so what were classes like? Was it
huge?
Big classes?
50 people in there.
And during teaching time, was it just teacher lectured and you took notes?
Yeah.
And what were math classes like, for example?
And also, teacher will just lecture, you take note.
You just take notes?
You just take note.
Were you ever called to the board? What was...
Well, once in a while I'll get called. You just want to see if you do your homework. So you get called to the board, but not many chance because you just want to put your head down. Hopefully you'll get called.
And was that, for you, a good way to learn?
No, terrible. I hate math.
Was that a good way for you to learn in your other subjects?
Well... I just don't like the way they teach. They don't make it fun. I mean, I think like history or geography could be really fun. Like, it's like a traveling, but it's just not. It just have to memorize everything. Memorize after memorize. And so In class, you just, every day you have like 3 to 5 quizzes. I don't know where the
every day.
Every day. I don't even know where the teacher can find so many papers. Okay, they're just like, okay, everybody gonna get a quiz, okay? And sometimes the class leader, she just, because our class is only girls, she distribute all the papers. So you're gonna write it. And then when it's done, they collect the paper and maybe teacher graded, or maybe the student teacher will, it's just in our class. Some probably doing better. Maybe some is better with math, some with the English or whatever, which subject. And then they will help the teacher to matching just black and white. And every day is about 3 to 5 quizzes.
And when did your school day end?
9 o'clock in the night.
You were at school from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah, because you finish at about 5 o'clock. Okay. Then you have a half an hour. You have to go to take a dinner. Then you have to go to the crash school. Okay. And there's more exam there waiting for you. There's more teaching there, which usually is English and math. And it's like if you don't go, and that's like teacher making some sidekick, right? And you have to go, because if you don't go, that means you think you're really strong. And if you fail in a class, you're gonna look really stupid. So you don't like it, but you still go anyway. And really pointless, because you sit there, you hate it. You're so tired from 7 o'clock, you finish at 5, and then you have to go there to sit there, and you pay extra money. So by the time you finish about 9 o'clock, you get home probably about like pushing 10 o'clock.
And then you start all over again.
And then you have to do your homework.
There's more?
Yeah, you have a homework, of course. Every day you got homework. So you probably finish your class, you finish your homework. If you still have energy left, probably you finish like 11, 12.
And you get sleep.
And then you go to sleep. And then 6 o'clock you wake up again.
Sounds grueling, to be honest.
Yeah, that's why.
So what were some of your favorite places to be as a child? Maybe you had more free time on the weekend, you could go out.
15?
15 years old or even younger. Just your favorite places to go.
Not really.
Nothing?
Well, once in a while on the weekend, I can go with my friend. We go to the market and shop for clothes. Mm-hmm. But we don't even know why we buy the clothes for. Because you don't even have time.
to wear them.
And you have to wear the uniform to go to school, so you don't have time to wear them. But you buy them anyway. You just feel...
Just for fun.
Just for fun.
Just for something to do.
Yeah, because there's no adult supervision. So you just go... You feel like you're so independent. You hop on the bus, and you go to the market, and you buy clothes and come back, and you carry some clothes and feel really proud. That's it.
Can you tell me a bit about your friends?
Well, I really lost contact with them for the most part. Some, maybe. Not a whole lot. Just...
What about when you were a child?
I don't really have whole lots of friends.
Growing up?
No, not really, because I moved, so I lost contact with... I don't really have... I probably have one from elementary, but then everybody kind of move around. And I probably have few contact from my junior college. And I have maybe 1 or 2 girlfriends. But, I left Taiwan relatively early. Mm-hmm. So, my whole life is pretty much spent in North America versus in Taiwan. So, it's just inevitably, I just lost the contact. I tried to go back to Taiwan, visit as much as I could, but because... just it's different culture we live in. So after 20 plus years, yeah, friendship kind of just fizzled. You just like, okay, it's my friend. You go back, you meet them, maybe you go and sit down, have a meal, and that's about it.
So, you feel you don't have that much in common with them anymore?
Not a whole lot.
No. It's just too different from Taiwan to North America.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, very much. And they are also not the kind will blend in. Well, I mean, I have few friends. I still have few friends. Surprisingly, I actually through some social media and later on I acquired some friends. After I moved to North America, actually those friendship last longer. Like no matter where they are, we just stay in contact. I don't know why it's interesting, but my friend back home, not so much. Like my classmate, not so much. Yeah.
Just nothing to talk about.
Yeah, just different, I guess. Yeah.
When you were growing up, what kind of life did you imagine for yourself? What kind of dream job did you have?
I don't really have a dream like lifestyle.
Did you ever imagine you'd end up here in North America?
No, never crossed my mind. Because I always enjoy, I remember when I was like in my teenage, like 15 to 18, I know I love language. I know I enjoy learning English. So I remember when the junior college, I know I don't like math. So I enjoy language. So I took my own time to study English. I went to the English language school and I spent a lot of time on that. And because I think one day I'm going to go travel. Where? I don't know. I never left Taiwan till when I was at 19. But I just think that it's kind of important for me. Because I think it helps because we do have foreigner coming to Taiwan. I remember when I was 15, okay, in my grueling years of school. I remember one day was like 7. I remember very, very clearly. It was 7:15 in the evening. We were running late to go to our cram school, the crash school. And the 2 foreigners stopped us and asked us, because he saw us carry this 2 huge backpack, like, one on each shoulder, like huge. He's like, poor kids, like, what time did you start the class? I told him it was about 7 o'clock, 7:10. And he said, where are you going now? You going home? No, we're going to the crash school. He's like, what time? It's the same question like you just asked me.
They couldn't believe it either.
They couldn't believe it either. That's like, you just little thing. I said, I know.
They were talking to you in English.
In English. But I understand. Don't ask me why, how. They just asked me what time. I mean, it's easy to answer what time, but I was fairly comfortable to answer that question. Like, what time do we do this? What time do we do that? And I remember very, very clearly, and I was with one of my classmates who is academically very strong. Like English is definitely one of her good subjects as well. She was with me. And the second day when we get to the school, she was, I can't believe how comfortable you were answering those foreigners in English. Yeah.
So you knew English.
Yeah, from that point, I knew I am good with the language. I have no fear when it comes to language. Yeah, so, but my English wasn't, like, it's different, like conversational English versus, like in Taiwanese, you have to take the exam. They test you with some really stupid stuff. Yeah. Like, they're so focused on the grammar and stuff, but they don't really give you an opportunity to make it fun, to practice, become more practical. So, yeah, that carry on to my junior college. I spent a lot of time, other than school, I spend a lot of my own time studying English because I think one day I'm going to go travel. I don't know where I'm going to come up with the money, but I think I'm going to travel. I'm going to speak English. And yeah, I read a lot of magazine traveling. I enjoy it. And I thought that, being a flight attendant would be really cool.
So you wanted to be a flight attendant?
Yeah, at one point I want to be a flight attendant.
You didn't think about long-term house, family.
No, you're young, you want to travel. Yeah, and you kind of, well, then again, it's also different because the flight attendant in Taiwan get paid really well.
Yeah.
The Asian flight attendant, they get paid really well. So they seem to have this more comfortable life. Yeah.
Freedom too.
Yeah. So back then you don't think about the risks or anything, or time change. You're young, right? The only thing is the risk. Yeah. And being a flight attendant was my dream.
What do you mean by the risk of the plane failing?
Yeah, China Airline, they crash all the time.
Back then?
Yeah, back then it was really bad, China Airline, until they have the EVA Air. EVA Air, I think they started when I was around 16, 17. The EVA Air, suddenly they announced this EVA Air. And EVA Air completely changed everything. Ever since they started EVA Air, people do not want to fly with China Air. So China Airline, they started to reorganize everything. Because China Airline used to be some, people retired from the Air Force. And they're just really roughing it. They're really not... they're just known for like beautiful flight attendant.
And you saw that as a teenager and thought, that's what I want.
That's what I want to do. You just want to fly and but anyway.
So we're coming to the end of the interview.
Mm-hmm. That was quick.
It's been almost an hour.
Okay.
Did it feel like it went by quickly?
Yeah, it was really fun.
I want to sum up with you. What kind of feelings and words come to mind when you're thinking about your childhood in Taiwan?
I really miss it. I don't think anybody can bring it back because we don't have much financially, but we are very happy. I mean, my parents, they don't have the ability or any free time or any thought, nothing, but we were happy. Just being a kid. I mean, fried chicken legs made me happy, looking forward to every year. Chinese Year was important to me, and that was really a happy childhood. Life was simple but happy.
Really? Even going to school for so many hours in the day?
It's just like you should do it because you get to spend time with your friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just spend time with your friend and that's it. So you just talk to your friends and do some stupid stuff together.
And you miss it?
To some extent, because also that's the time I remember, when we were listening to songs like Madonna, Michael Jackson, that's a time you kind of get the taste of it. Yeah, going home, your parent wouldn't understand. So, yeah.
It was an idyllic childhood.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the end of our interview.
It's it?
That's it.
Nobody gonna ask me about my Chinese New Year?
Do you want to talk a little bit about your Chinese New Year?
Yeah, okay. Chinese New Year is...
One footnote. Tell me about Chinese New Year.
Yeah, that's my sweet memory of my childhood. So, I think up until my grandma's still around. My grandma passed away when I was 13. I just passed my 13 years old birthday, so I remember it was in January. But anyway, Chinese New Year is always good because all my aunt and uncle, they moved up to north to Taipei, and they will come back, and there'll be a full house. And a day before, or a few days before, we go to the market. I mean, not not like a department store, but we go to like a night market. We make sure head to toe, brand new, because New Year is coming. Head to toe, brand new. Everything is new. And then you'll be so excited because you're gonna go back and you're gonna wrap the dumpling with grandma. And grandma will put some little coins in the dumpling. So whoever get that coin can get the red envelope the second day. So I always try to cheat. I try to just stay with the grandma, hoping I can mark something, because grandma taught me how to wrap the dumpling. So I tried to see maybe I can mark one, and I remember.
How would you mark one?
Well, you can wrap it or, pinch the dumpling, make a marking or something differently. So hoping out of like 500, no, maybe 500, not like 300 dumpling, because it's like whole family eating. You still can see your dumpling. I mean, that's like, I think that's not even much of money. You can, if you get that, probably you get for like $10.
For 300 dumplings.
No, out of 300 dumpling, I think grandma probably put 10 of the coins in there.
Oh, okay.
So if you eat one, then you can take that to whatever adult, whatever's in charge, usually my uncle, because he is rich. Yeah. And then he will give you some extra red envelope for extra good fortune. So we will wrap that dumpling until 12 midnight, and everybody, all the family sit around. I'm actually the only kids there because for some reason, I was close to my grandmom to learn how to wrap the dumpling. And then 12 midnight, you go sleep. I mean, shower and all that, you go sleep. And the second day, the Chinese New Year, you get up quickly, put on all your clothes, everything new. The shoes might be pinching your toes. No problem. Everything is new. That's important. And you go down to say the nice word to your parents, the adult, to those, your uncles, aunts, and grandma, grandpa, and give you a red envelope. You collect your red envelope. And maybe you got lucky, small portion, you get to keep it. Of course, all the money you give back to your parent because they have to give every envelope back too.
I remember this.
Yeah, you have to give a red envelope back. So you can't really, if you keep the money, then they have to come out with their own pockets. But that's okay. So that's why I always hope for like, if I can get that dumpling money,
it's yours.
That's mine. At $10 I can spend, right? I love money ever since I was young. I always look for money. That even you can use that $10 sometime. You go to those grocery store, not really grocery store, like a convenience store, like in the corner store, and they sell this lucky draw thing. It's a toy, and someday they actually can draw for another $10 in the lucky draw. So if you sometimes you get lucky, got that lucky draw $10, and you can just go on and buy your firecracker and stuff. Or sometimes the one of our uncle will just say, okay kids, we're gonna go and buy a firecracker. So we'll be like in the group and very happy. We go and buy the firecracker and the light of the firecracker the whole Chinese New Year. So we didn't have a whole lot, but that was really a Chinese New Year. You hear the firecracker, you come home, you play. Few my cousins, we go and play, and we just do all day, just play, and then go back to lunchtime for our chicken legs.
Thank you so much, Mimi, for talking with me and for sitting down for this interview, telling me about your childhood.
Yeah, thank you. That kind of reminds me how happy my childhood was.
We'll go out and get some chicken legs.
Chicken legs.